second to set up my environment. Hope you can hear me. Let me just test if you can hear me. Sorry, because I opened up the previous recording and then I forgot to actually check it. But here we go. This is graphic. Hopefully you can hear me. This is okay. Cool is on. This is, what is it? I'm not capturing OBS. I want you guys to see everything. Okay, here we go. Right, here we go. That show? Hopefully that shows my terminal right now. Anyway, so what we're doing right now is just kind of like switch to my nice keyboard. Going through, what's it called? Right, what I've just added here. Okay, so basically I just want to try this sort of thing where I'm doing a stream of consciousness programming session with no not only programming but also just like problem solving, just to kind of get an insight for anyone else watching this video, which could be me, could be future me, could be somebody else completely, to get an insight into my thinking process and my puzzle solving process. So here we go. This is a little folder I've created. So first of all, this is my terminal. Just some context. This video is not going to be about like my whole setup onto my dot files, whatever, but this is my prompt. So this is a terminal, which is just a way to interact with the computer with a shell. The shell is a program that shows kind of like that takes these commands, like if I say echo hello, or if I say fetch, and it runs this program. Basically the shell is the program that takes those commands and runs programs, right, with specific parameters that we input using the words. This is a bit sussy. Cook. Anyway, so right now, so this is just my terminal. This is my shell. I'm using the fish shell, and I'm using what's this called, Starship. This prompt you can find in my GitHub under Pantheon. It's just like inside here. Just contact. Yep, here. Very simple one, right? And this is a Nix thing. I'll explain that maybe later. But anyway, so that's my terminal, just to get give you an idea. This thing here in Eurathia is the name of the folder that we're in. So I'll open a more normal representation of folders. So this is my home directory. You can see I have downloads, I have projects, blah blah blah. We're going to repos, which is git repos. Basically, which is collections of text files that is version controlled, similar to like maybe Google Drive version history, if you don't know what that is. But this is the folder in Eurathia that I've created, and we are in that folder. So I hit Q to get rid of Yahtzee, which is a piece of software that lets me look at file systems in a tree layout in the terminal. You can see that I am just showing the current folder that I'm in over here. That is what that diatribe was about. But anyway, this is also a part of Starship. This is my git branch status, and what git is, as I mentioned just now, a way of version controlling text files. So actually, if I do this, this is comma, which lets me get this comma, which lets me pull in any package ever, because of Nix packages, as you can see. So many packages. It's just letting me download a random package that I know the name of, but I actually haven't downloaded to my system. But yeah, you can see here, it's a very simple folder structure. This is the current folder we're in Eurathia, and then there's a flake.nix, mysterious file, I don't know what that is. And then there's home.md, which is this little home page that I wrote. Ta-da! We'll explain all that markup syntax later. And then we have one folder called rule systems, dnd 5th edition.md, and then todo.md. Okay, so back to what we were looking at, right? So, oh fuck, I forgot what I was doing already. Right, so I said that I wanted to show you the folder structure of this folder. And all of these .md is markdown, by the way, if you never heard of it. but essentially it's like when you're typing on a messaging app, right, and you do like this to get bold. Oh sorry, I'm not Nazi, but there you see it becomes bold. So markdown is just like a way to say it, like, okay, how do I do it? That, and then this is italic, right? Then this is strike through. Basically it's a, okay, well it doesn't work on my password, but anyway, this is what markdown is. It's just a way to define what text looks like. So for example, how I use it is like to say in I put here in Rathia, then I put like a link to any rathia.md, or actually in this case maybe I'll show you a URL, which is the actual domain that this will live at, hopefully by the time you watch this video. But this is this will make it as a link, right? You can see, so it's just markdown. It's simple. So let me get rid of that. Okay, then let me get out. Okay, so I was talking about, right, so markdown is a text file, nix is a text file. I can prove that right now. If I go down here, you see that's all text, even though it looks like half finished code, which it is, it's still text. All of these are text, right? So git is is a way to version control those files. Essentially what that means is, if I go like this, you can see that right now the difference I have from git diff head. I will not use aliases, so not to confuse anyone, but I'm using git to find the difference from the head, or basically the current state of the project, right? So if I go to git status, you can see that new file flake.nix, this is the changes, and it's not staged for commit. Prime is just what I've called the default branch lah. But you can go to git log to see what commits are on the branch. You see I put add homepage, a reminder for later, as I'm using, so while we chose D&D 5th edition. These are the commits, right? You can actually take a look at those commits. So if I go git show, and I just hit tab here, right? Tab. You can see that this is from fish, right? I can go add some usings. This is what they show lah, that I made these changes. Let me see if I can find like one with a difference. I don't think so. I'm not that far in. I can show you. I can show you right now. I do this, then sorry, no aliases from it. Hello, right? And then I go like this, and I delete those two. I can go. Oh sorry, git diff head again. You can see that it's deleted these two. Okay, but maybe I can show you with addition as well. Hello. There you can see that it's deleted these two lines and added this line to result in these two lines. Right? That's how diffing works. And what git is just a way to store all those diffs up like that. So this is a diff on that added the give me a sec. This is the diff that added the flake.nix. This is the diff, sorry, this is the diff that I just commented in that last step to take a look and to get rid of those two lines and put in hello, right? So if I do git show that, you'll see it's the exact same one. If I go the one right before that, it's adding things. So when you add these two diffs together, you get the current state of the file. It's basically what git gets you, right? All the way going to the back. If you add up the difference here plus the difference here plus the difference here plus the difference here all the way up, you get a current state of the folder. Okay, so let's actually get rid of those. Oh, I'm not sure how to do that actually. Please. Let me try. Okay, so right now what I'm trying to do is to get rid of these two commits. I don't want them in my in my comment history anymore. I want to get rid of them. So this is actually something I don't know how to do off the top of my head. So I need to figure that out. And I'm going to try and figure that out without having to go and look it up. So just based off my knowledge of git commands in the terminal. So it is basically what I'm trying to do is like when I'm on a different branch and I make some like test comments and I want to get rid of them, I just rebase. The easiest way is to rebase back onto the main branch that I branched off of, so I can see the comment history since branching off from there. I can just delete the ones I don't want. However, I can't do that here because we're on the default branch. However, what I think I can do is that rebasing is not only meant for branching off, but I can get rid of the branch thought process there and just think about it as rebasing from one comment onto another. So I think that it will just show me the difference of comments from like this one head to another. So for example, I can say I'm on here now and I want to rebase onto here, and then that would just get me these two. That should be correct. So I can go git rebase head, and then this syntax should give me 2 comments ago. That didn't work. I need to make it interactive maybe. Yes. Let's fucking go. That's exactly what I want. Okay, you can see that right now the flake.nix is gone because that's what I wanted to discuss. So this is a bit of background on my setting. I played D&D 5th edition with my friends. That may change soon. We might be writing a new rule system. Okay, let me roll a cigarette while we talk about D&D and I introduce you to what my setting is about. Let me turn off the fan. Let me switch to big cam. Big cam. Hello. Let's see if I can get you a view of the Rolls Royce. Some would say. Nobody would say. Okay, so I was telling you about D&D, right? So D&D is basically, for anyone who doesn't know anything about D&D, is a game where you sit down with your friends and you play pretend. But you know how when you want to play pretend, you imagine, okay, if I'm doing this and I'm playing pretend against somebody else and I say I did this and the other person disagrees, who's gonna adjudicate that? Obviously you can't say one person or the other, right? You can say a judge, but then that becomes a bit boring because then everything is determined by that one judge's decision, and that can be influenced by politics, can be influenced by a lot of other different dynamics within the group, right? External factors. So instead of doing that, we choose randomness, and randomness is actually random on a scale of 1 to how many ever, because we're using dice to simulate the randomness. The reason why we use dice is even though because we got like computers now and we can easily just set up a laptop at the table and do a random number calculator, because in the end, right, it's still a game and you want it to be tactile, and humans just like a little bit of like analog, right? So that's why we do that. We use dice. But yeah, so that's why I like to explain like that, because really it can really be anything. And Ini Rathia, which is the project that I'm actually currently working on, is a setting for D&D. It is a story setting, just like Lord of the Rings or Aragon, where I can tell stories with my friends and they can tell stories about their characters back to me while they're playing my games. So I have this wiki up as a way to force myself to document everything, so that in the future, because what I like to do is look back on like moments and like places and characters and things and events that happened in my old D&D campaigns, meaning the ones I've played for in years ago, right? And the thing is, like, I have very little in the way of like documentation for all of that. Everything is purely through memory, which, like, some people would say is kind of beautiful, but I'm not looking for beautiful, I'm looking for accurate right now. So I've completely forgot to show you guys. I rolled a cigarette. Okay. Alright guys, where were we talking about D&D? Turn on the fan. Talking about D&D in relation to... I really fucking forgot. Why was I talking about D&D? Okay, I was thinking about this, right? I wanted to explain what Inurathia was by first explaining what D&D was. And then while explaining what D&D was, I was thinking about what? About how it has impacted my life. Get a sip of water. Let me think. Oh shit. My mic might be off. No. Hope that my mic has not been off this whole time. But only if now you can hear my voice. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot what I was thinking about, but to be honest, that was the part where I was like freaking out anyway. So I guess let me just restart the explanation then. Okay, this is good. So it kind of when I switch from here, right? Okay, so Inurathia is the D&D setting that me and my friends worked on. So what is D&D? D&D is a game where I remember what I was talking about now, lol. You have one adjudicator between a bunch of people playing pretend. And what that means is that imagine you're playing pretend, right? And you disagree with somebody about something. Who is the determiner of what the result of that decision is, right? You can say you have one person to be the adjudicator. However, that is not so random. It's a bit deterministic based on the person's personality and whatever other factors may go into that decision. So we use dice to also act as a further layer of adjudication, making it a bit more random though distributed along a curve that fits the character's abilities or the place in narrative, right? So those are role-playing games. Role-playing games, rule systems essentially, right? Dungeons and Dragons is one of those geared towards high fantasy. So I've been playing D&D since I was about 15, 14. Sorry, no, that's a lie. I learned about D&D around then, and I started writing stories, but I didn't start playing until I was about 17 with my friend Gabriel, who we shall not discuss today. And then a few years later, for my friends who I currently play D&D with, one of which lives with me right now, which is awesome. And we played D&D together for about a year, and we're about to start a second campaign together in the same world called Inurathia, which is a cool D&D setting because it does something I don't think has ever been done before. My original bit was making it modern fantasy, however, not modern fantasy in the sense that the fantasy part is hidden away like Percy Jackson or like Harry Potter or whatever. It is not hidden away and it's part of society and explores how could society have developed to the modern age with those features being always in history. So I thought that was like fucking brilliant, and I wanted to make a campaign setting out of it because it was my first essentially original campaign idea setting. Everything else was a high fantasy. So that has led us to Inurathia, a world that has a lot of history behind it. However, a lot of those history is pretty messy. So this is my attempt to restart and clean it up. So that's just background for what the setting is. However, this is not going to be really about the setting. It's going to be about my adventure in this project. And right now, what I'm looking into is, if you notice, inside the markdown files, there is some weird formatting here. See? This is basically my stream of consciousness idea of like tags, right? Because I want to rewrite this part. I want to rewrite living, breathing, something. And then here, PT means impact. I want to see what kind of impact am I trying to get from saying high fantasy, high magic, high technology, modern time period. It's kind of a lot, right? And I don't know if I want that, so I want to put a PT here so later when I'm editing I come back to it, right? And then I was writing this, right? And then I realized it's really annoying to have to keep going back and like fixing my word wrapping so that it all fits to 80 characters, right? Which I have kind of written out here. This is literally 80 characters. I just counted out like 78 dots and then I put 80. right? So I use monospace fonts. And I have this also. This is like a minor decision. I can do like written, updated, blah blah blah, right? So it can be like a living document other than my git commits, because not everyone likes to read git commits. This is my here. I'm trying to figure out how much of the screen this covers actually. Let's test that briefly. I'm a bit scared that like I'm just getting rid of like my entire. No, you can kind of see. Yeah, it doesn't. You can't see the 80. Oops, sorry. Oh fuck. What did I do? Okay, should be able to see that, right? Yeah. So there's 80. It's 80 here. This is what I was referring to. The 78 dashes and then the 80, right? Okay. That's good enough. Let's go back to display capture again. Okay. Alright, so I thought the first kind of problem that I wanted to fix while I was doing this, because I wanted this to be sort of a project where I jump around between doing exactly what I want to do instead of like, you know, focusing on one thing, right? Just to let my ADHD out sometimes. So what I want to do right now is I want to write however the fuck I want, and then I want to be able to just format this with one command. So what I'm going to do that is write Python script. Of course is the easiest way. However, I'm using Nix because I'm crazy, and Nix is like a declarative package management system, which means that any sort of program that I want to install on my system has to go through Nix. If not, it's not really going to install, unfortunately. However, it is a really good way of declaring what packages you need for a specific project or for I don't know, for home directory. That's how I do on my .dot file, for example. That's what I was showing you in the beginning of the video. Yeah, I just love Nix. But anyway, this is what I have to do. Do Nix init, which is going to give me a Nix flat. I need to remove some of this nonsense. Actually, I don't know why I even ran that command, because you know what, let's imagine I didn't write the command. Let's do git restore. Okay, we are clear. Fuck. Okay, you know what, let's just delete that. I'm going to kill myself. Delete that and delete that. Okay, but what the hell? Okay, back to normal. Right? Do we have a... No, we don't. Okay, we're back to normal. Please ignore that. What I meant to do actually was just open up flake.nix. This is Neovim, by the way. This is my text editor of choice. Why I like it is because I'm in a terminal. I'm already working in a terminal anyway. That's how I move around the directories and stuff. I would rather have a code editor or text editor actually, since we're doing just text today. That already lives in the terminal, instead of having to go like open that same folder again in my file explorer, then open that same thing again in VS Code. Like fuck that shit. I'd rather have everything be in my terminal, right? So we're just gonna open the next file here, which is just a function basically. Here's a fun way I think about it. It's really just a function. This is like your function brackets, right? And you're gonna say like for this, what we're doing now is opening up a development shell with Python, by the way, which is why I need to do under system with Nix. So what I have to do is get the packages, the Python 3 packages, into a development shell, and the development shell is going to be gotten from running a binary that evaluates the function of this nixflake, right? So basically what we need to do right now, the problem that we have in isolation, is to create a function that will give me a development shell with Python inside. That's it, right? So the first thing I need to do is I need to define that exact dev shell. So I'm going to open up so I already know the syntax by heart because I write a lot of Nix. But basically all you're doing is like defining outputs, which is the attribute set, which is defined by these curly brackets that allow you to just kind of say like, this is the packages that I'm exposing, this is the development shells that I'm exposing, this is the system configurations that I'm exposing. It's just a way to it's called a flake schema, the way to define your outputs, like exactly in exact Nix code, so that the programs can pass it essentially, right? But all we're focused on today is dev shells, and I'm on a Mac right now, so I have to do that, and then default, and then I'm going to say packages dot make shell. So this is, if you're keen-eyed, you'll see that this is wrong already. I will fix it in a second. So packages here, my LSP is so kindly going to tell me, oh, undefined name. Cool. So the way we get that packages, so packages dot make shell, by the way, is just another function that takes a derivation that is defined inside these curly brackets and outputs a development shell. Just a little helper function lah. Basically, what this mysterious inputs is and what this packages is going to become from. So I'm pressing space LE, by the way, so you can see what that does. If I press space, you can see that it shows a little which key binding map, and then if I press L, it goes open diagnostic float on E using my LSP, which is at the bottom here, no ls. I go space LE and I go there. Okay, oops, I pressed it again. But yeah, it just shows me what's the problem. So there's undefined name. So it means we need to say what is packages. So I'm going to say let packages be something. I still don't know what is this something. I just put it here for now. But that something is going to be from inputs. So what inputs is a way for your Flake to pin its dependencies. Very amazing. So we can say Nix packages, which is the largest repository of packages on any Linux distro. For any Linux package manager is awesome. But I'm just going to say inputs.nix packages.url equals to GitHub, then NixOS, Nix packages, and we're gonna go not latest, what is it called? Nix OS unstable, which is a branch that generally already has all its binaries built, and so can lend its binary caches to when we build our programs instead of us having to build those packages ourselves. Right, so now packages, let's go the inputs, Nix packages, legacy packages, and again I know this by heart, but you can just like copy any of the pre-made Flake templates because it's better to do that than what I'm doing, because most likely you're going to see me run into some errors. Alright, so you'll notice something. We have it already, right? As I said, we have it already, but it's not going to compile actually right now, because if I do Nix develop, which is going to look for the Flake.nix and look for any what's it called, Flake packages, Flake dev shells that are output, it's not going to work because it's going to say this. I need to add it to Git first, because Flake.nix, the way Nix Flakes works in a Git repository is that they need to be tracked by Git to see where all the other files are, right? So now it will work. However, it's still, I think, not going to work, but we'll see. It might work. So yeah, a lot of very random useless tidbits in this video. Hope you enjoyed. We're gonna let it compile LVM. I need to leave in like 45 minutes, but so far I'm enjoying. How long is this video been? Half an hour, that's fine. That's fine. Hopefully, I think if I'm able to build this formatter, that's a nice video in itself. Yep. Okay, so in now, nothing is going to change. Everything is still going to be there. We're going to exit. So yeah, this VR impure thing tells me that I'm in, by the way, and also it says welcome to fish, blah, 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 which is my shell, and it's just starting up there. So I'm just going to git add first. Okay, we're going to commit that init shell, done. Okay, then we're going to go in Flake.nix and we're going to say, so the way that the packages.make shell method works, or the function, I think the correct verbiage here is function. The way it works, right, is that basically it's going to drop you into the development shell of a package. So a package is something that you have to set up a build environment with all the needed binaries, etc., and then you use that to output a binary or a directory with like a script to run in it or whatever, right? It's a derivation of a package. But the way you get there is to set up the development environment. So what we're doing here actually is just taking out the middle step. So that's why I will type this weird syntax thing, build inputs, and this is where I'm going to get all my packages. So I'll show you something. If I do Python, nothing. Python 3, nothing. I have Python 3. Oh, I want a Mac. Alright, that's hilarious. Okay, I don't have Python. Right. But here I'm going to say Python 3, and you notice that I'm putting this with packages, blah blah blah. Because actually this inputs, next packages, legacy packages, and then one from our architecture is an attribute set that contains, for example, like Python 3. So since I'm shortening it to packages, what writing this is the same as saying like that. It's the same exact thing, right? Exactly the same. That's why it's complaining right now. This is also complaining right now, for a reason. Right? If I get rid of this, probably it should not. Yep. See, no errors. But I prefer this syntax because then I can add on like, I don't know, UV into this, which I do plan to do. But if I go back into next develop, you'll see now. Here I didn't have Python, right? It's developing. I don't know if you got that, but it's developing. Is downloading Python. And now I have Python. Yay! I got Python. So I'm just gonna exit. Then I'm just gonna how to write init Python in the dev shell. So you'll notice that I'm basically fucking writing like a new. Okay, so right now I'm gonna jump into the AI portion. Yay! Details format md.py to pass the limit the top of the file only, and wrap all lines of text in the markdown file by space and preserving line breaks. Don't edit files first. Write a detailed step-by-step image. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I think I described it just now, but yeah. So I just want to write a simple one. It's not even one request. Why is it already freaking out? But yeah. Okay, I'm just going to restart. Okay, let's try another method. So that was one way where you describe the entire spec of the program and figures out all the intermediary steps to do it. Vibe coding, right? Vibe coding strategies. But right now what I'm going to do is the other way. I'm going to come up with each intermediary step as I go and iterate on the way. So first thing that I want to do is find all markdown files. Right? Python script utils format md.py, and I'm not even gonna say make it hello world. Let's make it simple. I could have done this myself, really, but you know, I'm a lazy bastard. Yep. Okay, then we're gonna go to let's getting my character limit set here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now if I do next develop, so the .c command, let me check my camera. The .c parameter is going to let me run a command from my next develop shell without having to actually go into it. But yeah, that's gonna work. It's gonna download everything, and it's not gonna put Python in my environment. It's not gonna pollute my environment, which I do not want very much. Thank you. The problem with this is just it just takes a while. Unfortunately, for interpreted language, that's how it works. Okay, so that works with it. So let's go with those. Let's say, okay, modify it so it collects a list of all MD files in the current directory recursively, and maybe this could have been a bash script. Let me think. Do I want Python or bash? Can I do this with, let's ask ChatGPT. Okay, bring up to here. Okay, is it possible with a bash script to implement word wrap in a text file based on white space and observing line breaks? Okay, apparently, but I can do that. That's fucking crazy. Wait a second. I love this. I don't need the fucking, I don't need that. Holy shit, this is great days. Okay, let's do that. Then fold. Is it? Holy shit, it's there. That's bonkers. That is fucking bonkers. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Aha, we see it. So it should break the line spaces actually. So let's go ahead and get this okay. Let's bring the main page back up. It says 5, no. Push each space separated by the new line. Okay. Then let's just do fold S. Oh. Okay, cool. I think that is literally exactly the same as I did. Wow, that's quite interesting. Okay, so how does it say to do like a fold with recursive in directory? No idea why I had to type that on like my laptop keyboard instead of my awesome split. But yeah, this is a bit stupid. Can you do it in line? Okay, never mind. I'm just going to do find it. Should work to be find. Right. Okay, so how does find work then? So it's plus here. So this needs to be MD. Oh, this is only for, wait, no, it doesn't matter. I was about to say it's only for Mac, but I was referring to the set command that I just deleted, so I should be able to do this. Fold S that. Ah, perfect. I think it worked actually. Okay, so let's go in and do this. Right. Okay. It didn't preserve the. Why didn't it do that? Right, it did. I'm confused now. because I ran it. I ran this. This worked. This one, it says it did that, but then suddenly it did this. So now I'm confused. Right? Because actually it's already formatted. Okay, we're gonna unformat it, right? And we're gonna do. Oh, was it not working then? Right? Oh, maybe it doesn't overwrite the file. It doesn't overwrite the file. I'm such a fool. I'm such a fool. It prints it to S3 out only. That's annoying. So if I do this, then can I just is that gonna work? Nope. Okay, how do I do this then? Okay, let's ask the Jupiter, Mr. Jupiter. I'm trying to make the file name found appear twice in the fold command. Yeah. That works? Wow, I didn't know that works. That's cool. Wait. Oh. Yeah, I guess I can't do it correctly, but that should work. Yay! Oh, that's okay. Right. So what I'm looking at here is that they are leaving some cheeky little white spaces. Also, this is kind of weird. Why is this? Why is that? Is it because, oh yeah, I said it. Okay, but then why is this like that? Because could have broken it down here, right? Fold is not helping. Why is there? Oh my god. Okay, fold. Shit, man, fold. Yep. This is quite a difficult task to solve, actually. I'm sure it's been solved. Okay. ChatGPT. What is the most easiest / common way to simply format my text so that it word wraps at 80 characters intelligently hyphenating longer words, preserving language paragraphs. FMT. We try FMT. FMT. Did it put a fucking... I don't know. Let's try this. No, that didn't work. Alright, again. I see, so we do need Python actually. We do need Python. Yeah, we do need Python. I can use Vim. The fuck? Yeah, I wanna have it. Okay. Okay, let's do the script, please. Okay. Wait! Wait. Need the docs so I can write it myself. That's right, baby. Fuck. Lazy, bro. How long will? Oh shit. Okay, let's make this quick then. Okay. I was doing this format md let's take a look. So right now I need to bring, as you can see, right, they gave me a nice long script, but I don't have this. It complains. So since we are using Nix to get our packages, we need to look for it here, and found it. So should be as simple as, we're gonna do this actually like that. Oops, my bad. Entry to go. There you go. Then wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. I was actually gonna bring up the dev shell first to take a look at the file, but this should be fine. Yeah, it's just input file. No matter. Okay, how about instead we just take this, go here, make it no output, just find all markdown files in the repo and format them to 80. Yep. Yes. Okay, blah. So after this, we're gonna make this package, maybe call v1 if we dare. That should work. So yeah, as you can see, it might have taken everything actually. Yeah, no new line at end of okay, so it seems to have also touched everything. So let's take a look at the file actually, just quickly. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, I'm just curious if I were to drop the shell, would NeoVim pick it up? It will. Cool. Okay, for English, blah blah blah. Okay, for sure, not that fast. Then just hyphenator. Okay, sounds good. So we're just passing in everything. See? Motherfucker. Let's go to that. Okay. Yep. Let me run again. I'm gonna kill myself. Right. I forgot I did that too. It's over. Okay, so you can see why I love Vim here. You can see how easily I'm able to just put what is in my mind out onto this, right? Like this is from this to that in like 20 seconds. Pretty awesome. Yeah, this should work. Not sure what it does here. Usually it will say like no new line, which the problem should still be there. Okay, it seems like it's adding fucking new lines now. It's adding new lines to everything. Okay, it's adding new lines to everything. So let's find out where that is happening. There. Another one. How unfortunate. But oops. Did I work? Might have worked. Let's go ahead and git restore. I'll add git at next. Then I'll do restore things. Just so it doesn't give me issues. Okay. Ooh. Please set up playing because it was that's my fault. Oh my god, I did it. Okay, cool. I did it. That is exactly what I set out to do to Python formatter. And that's awesome. Let's take a look at the Python file just so we can see everything. So this part is, you know what, unnecessary. We're just gonna do that. Let's shimmy it down. So I really don't need that also now. What is it? Right. So I'm just gonna get rid of that. So okay, and then if md then open, then get rid of this, so then you're right. Okay, so none of this is something I can get rid of. I can do this, I guess. Oops. Right. Okay, then path. Guys. Okay, so why can't I put this here? Right? Will this not work? Text read. Then yeah, I feel like that should work. We'll ask ChatGPT later. Okay, so why do we need dick? Where do we get dick? Oh, there. Okay. Do we need multiple dick? Nope, that's it. So let's just take this, put there, and then 16. Oops. From just cleaning this up a little bit. Python. That's how we get that. Any other issues? No, right? Okay. So wrapped paragraphs. Why do we need wrapped paragraphs? because that's how we join it. So what is a wrap actually? Lol. Oh, because it's done. Right, I forgot that's like what we fucking set out to do, bro. Okay, so for paragraph, we get rid of any extra text. That's fine. If not paragraph, there's implicit boolean conversion. Okay, so if it's just got it. Okay, so we split that and we process each word independently, and if it's, I don't know what the fuck is UUAD. If it's interesting. If len word, why does this work? I don't understand actually. Is it because split? Okay, what is split? If it's by, I'm thinking by white space. Any white space? No, it's still, what the fuck? That's fucking crazy actually. Don't know how this works. Let's ask GPT to explain. Can you explain why len word works? I need to go soon. I have a business meeting, by which I mean I got dinner with my co-workers. I do need to leave soon actually. I'm not taking TPE. Oh yeah, can live in a little bit. Okay. Oh, it's just checking. I see. Okay, the whole thing is longer. Then it's gonna do this. Okay. This. So interesting. Okay, cool. I now understand. And I'm going to simply edit and one final thing before we drop off is just to pull a bow on this. We should have just this, right? So we can add this back. I don't know why I removed it, because I was going to do something stupid. Okay, then we can do a just file, and what this is fucking awesome. I can do format md. I can do format md equals to next develop C. What's this thing called? Utils md apply. I can. Alright, so now I do just format. I see. Yeah. Okay, so that might be because of what I did just now, which was that I got this and then I said this. Okay, let's see what Jeopardy says. This already after my changes. What did you do, Jeopardy? So I have to do formatted text. Then okay, that's cool. I just was overconfident there. Still okay, awesome. What did I do wrong? Oh, I see what I did wrong. That was idiotic of me. Okay, that worked. And I'm just gonna throw that in there. Add this file. I'm gonna say gc just file, and finally, I'm not sure if I have it, but there and next develop. Yep, is going to just let me have the next develop every time I'm inside the shell without having to run next develop or next develop -c. You know, I can just do this. So I can just do this. Apparently, nrc, then this use flake, and then I should say dir env allow. So storing my cache, right? So now if I go cd out, don't have it. Cd in, and I have it. Hell yeah! I call that a good day's work. Well, it was more like a good hour's work. Not sure about that. I need to ignore that, I think. And thank you. And then I'm gonna git add, then git restore stage dir env, like that, which is how. Okay, so apparently I've done that exact mistake before, which is fucking crazy. But yeah, all good. Feed add dir env start, and all together. I forgot. We need a readme. Hello. This is the repository for my working name TBD. Feel free to have a look around, and then let's go just format. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna just quickly, I do like this, and later on, like, we can always add linking for the Python file. Oops. So I went through, then just see. So what I'm doing here is just amending the previous comment. I'll explain that next time when I have a bit more wherewithal, not having just spent an hour recording, which is kind of a lot for me. But yeah, so I think that should be it. The repo for this will be up in the description, of course. I'll create it right now actually. Okay. Okay. Of course, I'm getting very tired and I need a break. But this should be the last thing, and then we should be good. So new repo, and we're gonna call it anyrathia. Don't think I have any directly named anyrathia before. Anyrathia wiki, sure, but I'm gonna write my own wiki for this because I can't be fucking bothered to deal with anything else. Okay, so we're just gonna quickly this is how you add. So I have a remote here, but there's nothing in it yet, so this is how you add that. Let's go git remote add origin, git at github.com. There's SSH syntax. You can use HTTPS if you're used to that. I'm just going to go with anyrathia, and then we are going to git push, and that should be it. So right before we drop off, even though I said that like 3 times, to do, I say run or this is served as the mono repo for my D&D setting, the notes run reasons that to display all the and the things needed to manage all of this. Okay, that's a bit aspirational, but you know, I like it. Let's go ahead and just nice. I'm gonna kill myself. Just nice, and then go ahead and add that, and then so these are just my aliases. I will try to remember to talk about them next time. But that should be good. In a second, I don't know why my git is like insanely slow today. It's not only the git push, it's everything. So I had to filter my mouth for I don't know how long, how many minutes. Now it's just fucking melted. But this is what I do for the craft, man. This is what I'm hoping all you guys will watch me for and understand the pain. Okay, it's up here, and I think that's it. If you want to take a look, this will be linked in the description. If not, that's also perfectly fine. But let me switch over to this big face view. Okay, I don't really have anything else to say. I'm like super tired after talking for almost an hour, but thank you for watching if you are watching, and if you made it all the way, I'm very happy you did. So thank you and bye bye.